Welcome to Fort Worth, Texas, home to Texas Motor Speedway. I'm Thomas Keel, bringing you the fourth round of the season in the Sheboygan IndyCar series. Today's race is the longest on the calendar, being 400 laps around this mile-and-a-half track for a whopping 600 miles for the Texas-sized Texaco 600. Here's how the championship standings look heading into the race, with Brad having a 9-point lead over Brady after Brad finished second last race at Long Beach. The championship is still extremely tight, and these drivers cannot afford to put a toe out of line. When we were last at an oval, it was Fontana earlier this season, and we saw a lot of pack racing, and with that, a lot of crashes. Will we see that here today? Some of the biggest shocks of the season so far is just how poorly Thomas and Darren are doing in this second season after finishing 1-2 in the championship last year. They're going to need to start building some momentum real soon if they want to save their championship hopes this season. However, first, we will need to set the grid and get this race underway. We are going to watch Darren Wyman through his qualifying run. As we talked about at the intro to the broadcast, Darren finished second last year, not having a single win, but led all three categories of podiums, top fives, top tens. He was Mr. Consistent. However, this season, he just can't seem to find his footing. He's going to take the green flag here to start his first qualifying lap. And we are going to see where things shake out. It is a long race, as we saw he bobbled there going into 3. That's going to cost some lap time into this first lap. And you can see it there being almost last. 29th, 4/10 behind Hannah, who has the quickest lap so far through that first lap. Let's see if he's better through 3 and 4 this time. It's a long race, though, so track position in qualifying isn't the most important. Still a little shaky through 4 there. Gonna take the checkered flag and jump up to 15th, but shuffles down to 21st after all of it. And John is going to snag pole away from Hannah on that second lap. Now that we have the field set, we will get into the race. We have the field underway, rolling off of pit lane. And we are going to go quickly through the field before this single pace lap. We'll go through the top 10 through this single pace lap before the race starts. On pole, with a 25.628, is John Vanderwettering in the Bucky's car. Second is Hannah in the 7-Eleven car. Third is Melissa in the Team Cool Green car. Fourth is Taylor Vanderwettering in the Visa car. Fifth is Samantha in the Air Canada car. Sixth is Ken Wyman in the Players car. Moto in the red, white, and blue American car. Alexis in the Barbie car. Devin in the Hooters car. And Zach Schrader in the number 72 Mercedes Petronas car.
Green, green, green.
John sees the green flag, and we are underway racing. He gets a great jump on the rest of the field. You can see back there, Hannah and Melissa are side by side going into the corner. But Hannah's getting a huge run absolutely massive run. She's going to sling it around the outside on John. Will she be able to make a stick? Almost some contact there. No, she's going to slot in behind. How are things look farther back in the field? It is a mess back here. Oh, man. 3 wide, 4 wide going into the corner there. Back up front, however, Hannah, Melissa, and John have pulled away slightly away from Samantha and are hoping to break away. As we see back there, this pack is extremely tight. That's Moto leading Alexis, and then Ken, and then Devin. Buckle in, boys. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be some tight racing. You see John stretching out ahead. Oh, it looks like we got a pack back here. As you see, Crass Nasty on the high line. Will there be anybody that can separate from the group? We see Crass there going through the middle of Michelle on the bottom and Zach up top. Crass carving his way through the field. As we have a battle for the lead with Hannah looking on the low side of John. Melissa gets a big run, can't go anywhere. Now you have Samantha down there in the bottom in that Air Canada car getting around Melissa. Oh, Samantha looking to sling it around the outside. John blocks Hannah down low. Ooh, Samantha Whale going into 1 there. Lost some momentum. As Melissa and Hannah almost touch wheels there. Which allows Taylor to get around Hannah. Will Taylor continue this momentum? No, Hannah's fighting back. So we still have John leading, but Samantha is up 3 positions up into 2nd place. As Samantha's getting a run now. Samantha going to the low line. Will she be able to get around John? She does. Heading into the backstretch, Samantha takes the lead away from John. But John slings it back down into 3 and pulls it right back. Now, reminder, you do get an extra bonus point in the championship for leading a lap. Whoever leads the most laps gets 2 extra bonus points. John got the bonus point for getting pole. And with a championship this tight, every single point matters. As we see Samantha got around John and will lead this lap, earning her a bonus point. And we got Melissa and John fighting for 2nd place. It does not appear there's really any gaps. It looks like, is this the largest gap? Yeah, roughly. Taylor falling back from behind John, sitting here in 4th, about 0.7 of a second behind. Still getting that draft, but just kind of chilling back here. Taylor might be saving some fuel, already leaning into that fuel strategy. With such a long race, saving fuel is going to be important to cut down on the amount of stops and the amount of time that you spend on pit lane. You see there, Crass getting around Ken. Looks like, is Crass the biggest mover? No, it appears that Steven Cheesin is actually the biggest mover so far, and the Baja Blast car is up 10 spots already. Steven Cheesin is working on Maggie in the Gamebridge car. Maggie's also up 6 spots, so both are up, looking good. Biggest loser right now appears to be Hunter. At the back of the pack is down 10 spots. Back up front, still a 3-way battle for the lead between Samantha leading Melissa and then John. Taylor is now 0.8 of a second back, at threat of losing the draft, but if they keep fighting up there, she should be able to hang on to the back of John's car there. Gaining a little bit through that corner. Hannah has fallen back a couple of spots from second. She's down to 6th in that 7-Eleven car. Now has Paul in the Texaco Javelin car, sponsor for the race. Paul's looking to look good for the sponsors. Texaco's plastered all over that car. Paul is up 6 spots, up to 7th place right now. Paul is currently 6th in the championship, 24 points behind Brad. So it's looking good for him right now. We will check in with the championship leader. Ooh, Brad down there in the red and white car, touching that white line, wiggling, losing some spots here as we... Thomas getting past him. Thinking about going 3 wide. That's Kyle. Ooh, very close. Kyle squeezing him down to the white line. Oh, man. Brad is all over the place there. Losing a ton of momentum and a ton of spots. He's really getting squeezed down there. And has fallen all the way to 29th. He started 12th and is back in 29th now. Disaster of a start. Back up front, we now have Melissa leading. She has gotten around Samantha. They've been swapping places back and forth throughout the earlies of this race. John has sort of settled into 3rd. He might be just content with sitting here to save some fuel. As we have Crass and Devin going side by side through 4. Devin getting the better of that one there. Oh, what happened here? I don't know if Melissa just got a great run or if Samantha got loose, but Melissa now has a 0.7 of a second lead over Samantha. Maybe Samantha burnt up her tires a little bit too much, got them a little hot, using the cool down, is allowing Melissa up front to just kind of scoot away a little bit. We see Paul up into 6th, working on Alexis there in the Barbie car. As he does make that move work and takes 5th away from Alexis. Paul is really charging, moving his way up there. Our top 2 in the championship of Brad and Brady have really fallen back. Brad is here in 28th in the number 301 Miller car. And then right behind him in the 55 Home Depot car is Brady. That's your 1-2 in the championship back in 28th and 29th. As Samantha is absolutely just losing the back of Melissa, and Melissa has broken the draft and is pulling away. This is huge for Melissa. Maybe Samantha's saving fuel, and Melissa's just going for it because she is booking it. You see back there, Melissa is just pulling away from the rest of the field. I don't know if there's something wrong with Samantha's car, but she just lost second from John. We'll see if John can reel in Melissa. Not out of reach, but definitely a little concerning. Oh, you see there in the top left, the gap is shrinking. John is pulling back in Melissa. So there might be something wrong with Samantha's car. We go back here. That's Fred now working to get around Alexis. Fred in that Freightliner car up top, in that dark blue and light blue car. Alexis is starting to fall back. Here we have Moto. Moto trying to get around Taylor here for 5th place. Moto looking to the inside. Goes into the corner. Taylor gives him plenty of room. And Moto will make that stick. It's kind of early in the race. I'm not sure if you really want to fight or if you'd just rather not lose track, lose momentum too much and sort of let people get by. As Alexis is continuing to slide back, with Devin getting around her, Alexis will fight back. Now Crass, looking on the high side. Devin slides up. Ooh, big twitch there from Devin, almost losing it and sliding into Crass. But Crass uses that momentum to try and slingshot around Alexis. As back up front, John caught Melissa and has passed her. So there might be something wrong with Samantha because she is now 2 seconds back behind the leaders. Either there's something wrong with her car or she's in big fuel save mode. And we have the yellow's out. Who is it? Tim Pagalo is slow. And as well as Cole Sheldon. We will go back and see what happened here. Cole in the yellow car. Cole just runs into the back of Tim. Oh my goodness. So lucky that he did not collect anybody else. We're going to go on board with Cole and see what happened here. Cole just runs into the back of Tim. And oh, Rob almost gets collected there. Let's go on board with Rob and see what he saw. They get together and oh, just barely misses. Oh my goodness. Who do we have coming to pit lane? We have the leader, John. I saw John for sure came in there. Yep. John, Melissa, Samantha. So your top 3 come in. Who stays out? Their first car staying out is Paul, Taylor, Hannah, Crass, Devin, and Michelle are some of the top ones that stayed out. "34 laps into this race, and we had a crash." Let's check in with Tim. Ooh, Tim was not able to make it around and had to tow back. So Tim is a couple laps down. Oh, that's a heartbreak for Tim. Nothing Tim could have done there. Just got ran over by Cole. Cole just sent it in too deep. It didn't seem like Tim let off the gas or brake. It just, yeah, I don't know what, Cole's doing there. So on lap 31, we get our first caution of the race. We can see now that Tim Peglow has been towed back to pit lane and is receiving repairs. We'll see how long it takes for him to get back out there, see if he can score a couple more points. But looks like he suffered a broken front right toe link, maybe even a left rear toe link from the impact with Cole, and then contacting the outside wall heading into one. I believe it'll be one to go, one to green this time by. We will see on the pace car if the lights go out. And they do go out, so we will be green next time by. The first car in line that has pit is going to be John. Melissa beat out Samantha out of the pits, but John is going to be the first car in this red Bucky's car. Is going to be the first car that had pit. We'll see how it works out. See how tire life is on these cars that stayed out. But John is in 12th. We'll see if he can carve through the field and make his way back up to the front. I don't really know what the full fuel stint is. But we will see. The pace car is coming through 4 now, getting ready to pull off, and Paul will have the field at his command. Pace car is off now.
Green, green, green.
And Paul is underway. Back here is already shaken up. John trying to get around Brady. Thomas looking to get around Rob. Rob got real lucky getting to that crash. We see John not be able to make the pass there. These fresh tires are cold, while the cars that did not pit are still warm, allowing for a little bit extra grip. As an absolute mess in the back of the field. Almost going 3 wide, running into each other. Back up front, Taylor has taken the lead away from Paul and is pulling away slightly. As John is holding up the field a little bit. Oh, we're really bunching up here. Melissa trying to get around John. John not getting a great run out of 4 there. Oh, a little bit of contact between Alexis and John there. We are real bunched up here. Back here in the pack, we are scrapping. Melissa is working to get around Thomas now. Melissa is the top car that has pit. Melissa's now up into 9th. Taylor and Paul have pulled away from Crass in 3rd. You can see here, Crass is starting to lose contact with them. But we have Melissa here in the Team Cool green car, carving her way through the field. She is already up to 8th. Back down to 9th with Michelle getting back around her on the outside. Maggie, thinking about darting to the inside there, probably safe to not do so. Maggie also pit. Myro, last week's winner, gets around Melissa and is up to being the top car that pit. Ooh, Myro's going to get a big run here. Alexa slot in behind Melissa. Myro in that purple and green car. Maggie with a monster run there. Maggie's going to hesitates on setting up the inside. Maybe her tires are... Oh, no, she pit. So these 3 cars, out of the 4 cars in frame, the front 3 on the left have all pit. Thomas back there has not. Who started in 11th was Brady, has fallen all the way back to 26th. Absolute disaster. I do not know why he didn't pit if his tires were in that poor shape. Up front, Taylor is still leading. But we have Melissa charging through the field on those fresh tires. Up ahead, Hannah and Robert are going at it for 4th position. Rob gets a great run on the outside there. It appears back here we have a bit of a fight. Is that Andrew Williamson is getting a great run through the field out of 3 and through 4. Gets past Moto and John. But back up here, this trio of Myro, Melissa, and Maggie have stopped pushing their way through the field and have started fighting. However, Myro got a great run there and is hoping to break away and start working on these cars that have old tires. Myro has caught the back of Michelle's car. We'll see if he can get through here a little bit better than Melissa did, because Melissa got caught up and then got shuffled backwards, losing momentum. Might be that Myro's going to get the same thing, had a run but had nowhere to go. Gonna split the middle between Jill and Michelle. Oh, that was almost disaster. I saw that ending in tears. But Myro got by Jill. And is now working on Michelle. Maggie has gotten by Jill as well. As Myro gets by Michelle. Ooh, Bobbles trying to get around Hannah here. Allowing Maggie in that black and yellow car to get a run. Now we are 2x2 here. Hannah real loose on the bottom. That's holding up Maggie. So Maggie loses all that momentum through the corner. While Myro is able to get through, and with those fresh tires, he's in 5th and trying to chase down Crass up there in 4th. We've got a battle for 2nd as Robert trying to get around Paul now. They've both lost touch with Taylor, who's now 2 seconds out ahead. Robert gets by and is starting to track down Taylor. Oh, we had a bunch of cars bunched up here. That's Hannah leading Melissa, and then Samantha on the top, and Zach in that silver car behind. Melissa darting around, getting past Samantha, trying to get around Hannah now. Melissa's lost 4 seconds to Myro, who she was battling with just a couple laps earlier. With this fighting between... with Robert getting past Paul... Paul has now fallen back to Crass, which then has given Myro the opportunity. Myro's now making a charge here on the outside of Crass. And Myro gets 3rd. So Myro is pushing through the field. The momentum and that confidence building from last week's win at Long Beach is really showing through here early in this race. Melissa, however, is struggling to make her way through the field. She was so strong in the beginning, and you thought with these fresher tires she was going to be able to just work her way back through the field along with John. But she was unable to. Speaking of John, John's back in 19th, down 7 spots from the restart. Samantha working to get around Jill here. Not able to make it work that time by. That 2-second gap that Taylor had has shrunk down to 8/10. Robert slowly pulling her back in. But we have Myro. Oh, we got Taylor coming to pit. So the first of the leaders that did not pit are pitting now. So we have 2 split strategies now. That 11 cars stayed out and the rest of the field did pit. Myro will take the lead, passing Rob, going through 1 and 2 there. It's going to be interesting seeing these split strategies. We will see where Taylor comes out. Samantha still battling with Jill, bunching up the field. Taylor is coming out now. She is a lap down. You are expected to lose a lap with pitting under green. Zach getting around the outside of Michelle there. Robert pits. Looks like everybody else that has not pit is pitting now. Oh, nope. Jill and Michelle, Hannah, Thomas, Steven stay out. Everybody else pits. Devin and Brady also stay out. So looking this time by, probably is going to be Jill coming to pit lane. Jill's coming into pit lane there. Hannah as well. This should be the last of the stragglers. Oh, it appears a couple people stayed out. Michelle being the lead car that has stayed out. So Michelle going a 60-second lap. As she knows that's the pit, will Thomas come as well? Thomas stays out. I don't know. Will Thomas have enough fuel? It appears he's got enough speed that he'll be able to make it this time back around. Brady as well stays out. Thomas is slower, so it appears he is coming this time. He is. Yes, he is. How about Brady? The last car to pit. Will he stretch it? No. Goes 64 laps. And Myro has now a 4-second gap on Maggie. After all those cars pit, Myro has stretched out a big lead with absolutely no one behind him. You see there's Steven coming out, being a lap down now. Steven's actually 2 laps down. I don't know why you wouldn't pit during that yellow, but I guess we'll see how the strategy pays out. If it stays green, it might work out. But however, right now, Myros has a 4-second lead on Maggie. The first car that pit is Taylor, who is a lap and a half down right now. Myro is coming out of 2, and she is coming out of 4. So she has a long way to go to make up that lap. Closest battle that we have on track right now is this right here. That's Alexis working on John. Both of these cars pit on lap 33 under that caution. So they have the same tire life as Alexis trying to work her way around there. While that is happening, Melissa and Samantha are going at it for 3rd right now. Samantha does make that pass work, but Melissa's hanging on right there. We'll go back to that battle between Alexis. Oh, Alexis got by John, and now is gotten by Todd. So Alexis carving her way up there. Maggie is working her way around the lap car of Devin, who is 2 laps down. And Maggie is chasing down Myra. She has cut a second out of that gap. Ken working on Moto for 7th. Ken now getting around Fred for 6th. But Fred is hanging on, still trying to fight back there. As Maggie is charging and really chasing down Myro. Maggie trying to get around the lap car of Steven Cheesin, who is 2 laps down. Oh, Myro trying to get around. Myro is up trying to put Steven Cheesin 2 laps down. That was my apologies. So Myro has 2 cars. Myro has the number 73 Baja Blast car of Steven Cheesin, as well as the number 7... No... Who's that in front of Maggie? Oh, that's Tim Pagolo. Back out there. Tim is 33 laps down. So Myro has 2 cars between him and Maggie. Maggie's now cut it down to a second. With Steven Cheesin getting back by. Steven has roughly 30 lap fresher tires than Myro. So although Myro's the faster car, it's going to be tough for Myro to get ahead of him. We got a real battle here. That's Fred working the high line around Moto. That's Ken in the player's car diving down to the inside. Ken is gonna make that stick. No, Moto hangs tough on the outside. Takes that speed out of the corner. And now puts pressure on Fred. As Maggie is reeling in Myro, as Tim Pagolo on 10-ish, maybe 15 lap tires is trying to get a lap back. Now, I'm not quite sure here why Tim's fighting so hard. Tim is 33 laps down. Being 32 laps down isn't going to make that much of a difference. And Tim is not going to make friends by fighting like that with cars that are nowhere near him. Tim might just be frustrated. He is 12th in the championship heading into this race. But Tim Pagolo of Triple T Racing isn't going to make friends that way, as we see Myro looking to put Hannah a lap down. Hannah's already a lap down, my bad. The last car in the lead lap is Brad in 17th. Brad is roughly half a lap ahead of Myro. Back up front, Myro getting stuck behind Hannah, trying to put her another lap down, which is allowing Tim to go around the outside, which is allowing Maggie to get a run. Maggie's now right on the gearbox of Myro. Maggie has tracked down Myro from a 5-second lead and is putting the pressure on. Ooh, we see there Myro darting around, looking antsy to get by. Myro touches that white line. Will Myro lose any momentum there? Myro defends to the inside. Maggie will take that high line. Will Maggie be able to hold the momentum on the outside? She will, and Maggie will take the lead. Maggie's desperate for a good result here. Doesn't have to be a win. It just has to be something good. She's had terrible luck the past couple races. There's word that she might have fired her fuel strategist after having run out of fuel multiple times this season. But she has gotten by Myro and is pulling away to about a second lead. She has caught Hannah and Tim, though. Back here, we got a battle for fourth between Zach and Samantha. Samantha makes quick work of Zach. Ooh, Zach went down on the apron a little bit there. But Zach is fighting back now. This is for fourth position. Now, your top 17 cars that pit during that last caution on lap 33, on lap 31, I think it actually was, they're gonna have to come soon, within the next 5 or 6 laps. Maybe, probably, actually with that yellow, they didn't get to save during that yellow, so probably during the next 3 or 4 laps, they're gonna have to come in. Samantha and Zach here, still really battling at the end of their stint here. We'll go back up front. Maggie got by Hannah, but has not gotten by Tim.
The yellow flag is out.
Ooh, we've got a yellow. Who's it for? Oh, Darren hard in the wall. Absolutely lodged into the wall. We will have to check and see what happened here. We're watching Darren here. He's coming through the tri-oval. Oh, what was wrong with Crass there? Crass was extremely slow. Crass bumps with Kyle and sends into the wall, breaking a toe link, struggling to hang on to it. And then Darren just rams into the back of him and gets stuck in the wall. Oh. Right front to left rear. Just crushes him. Oh. Man. We will go on board with Darren. Oh, my bad. We will go on board with Darren and see what he saw. So he's coming. He sees Crass bump the wall there. Doesn't know where he's going and just slams into him. And then gets stuck in the wall. So that yellow comes out at the perfect time for the people that were about to pit. I don't believe anybody pit before that yellow came out. No, it does not appear anybody pit. So perfect timing on that yellow. Absolute. Oh, what is up with that? Oh, that's Thomas going around. Do I have Lucky Dogs enabled? No. What was up with that? Why is Thomas going around Myra, though? Might have been reordering after Myra and them were coming out of the pit lane. Seems like most of the cars are going to pit. Hannah stays out. Who's all staying out? Hannah, Paul, and Robert. Are all going to stay out. Paul and Robert are going to get the wave around. Paul, Hannah, and Robert are all going to get waved around. Hannah will get her lap back. We'll see how things shake out here. We hear that from race control that they are reviewing that contact between the number 24 of Kyle and Crass there. I didn't see anything suspicious there, but we'll see what race control deems of that situation. So Hannah was 2 laps down, but is getting her lap back through that wave around. So Hannah's hoping for another yellow so that she can pit as we have a 1 lap to green. See Hannah there at the top of the screen, getting back in line there. Robert and Paul are the last 2 cars on the lead lap at the tail end of the line there. However, Myro has control of the field. I don't know what happened there. Or no, that was through the pit cycle. Maggie drops down to 4th. Myro jumps back into the lead. Great pit stop from Myro. Maggie with a 13-second pit stop. Myro with a 9-second one as Myro takes the green flag. And we are back racing. Oh, the field's really fanning out there in the back. The bottom line's all real bunched up there. John almost runs into the back of Ken there. As what a mess do we have here. All jostling around. 3 wide through the corner, almost 4 wide. As Wanda backs up the bottom line there, we see 3 wide between Brady on the bottom, Taylor in the middle, and then Michelle up top. As Kyle is all out of whack there. Keep in mind that a lot of these cars aren't on the lead lap. Kyle is. Kyle's back in 16th now, fighting with Rob in that purple and white car for position. As you see, Wanda trying to go 3 wide here between Michelle in that light blue and white car, and then Thomas in that dark blue and white car up top. Michelle touching that white line, getting real dangerous there. Farther up ahead, we got Maggie and John. Maggie has fallen back another 5 spots after that restart. Restarted in 4th, or no, 5th, and has fallen back. As we have an incident with Wanda. Wanda's slow and stopping down at the bottom at the exit of 2.
Caution, yellow
So
flag.
that'll be another caution. What happened there with Wanda? So here we have Wanda. She was getting squirrely through 3 and 4 there. Ooh, gets hip checked by Michelle. We will see with Michelle there in that light blue and white car. Michelle just, is that Michelle sliding up? I'd have to take another look at that. Ooh, that might have been Wanda coming down on top of Michelle. Yeah, it looks like Wanda just sort of came down on top there. Yeah, it appears that Michelle did. Oh, Myro's come into pit. We do have some takers. I'm surprised Myro pit from the lead. Very surprising, considering that Myro was leading in pit 10 laps ago under caution. So Myro going off strategy. Losing 10 spots, dropping down to 11th. Oh boy. So we have a couple different strategies. Was Hannah able to pit that time? I know Hannah stayed out. Did Hannah not pit? Hannah didn't pit. Hannah got the wave around and had the chance to pit under this yellow and not lose another lap when she pits in 30 laps, and she would have to pit in like 20 laps now. What was the plan there? I would definitely have pit here. You're not going to work your way through the field. We'll see how far behind she is. Oh, she is pitting now. She's pitting with the lap cars. Okay, that makes way more sense. Way more sense. Way more sense. So Hannah will pit here. Lucky break for Hannah. Getting this second caution. Other cars coming in is Taylor, Michelle, and Steven. Getting word from race control that no action taken earlier for Devin, or for Kyle and Crass's contact, as well as no action being taken for the contact between Michelle and Wanda. Deemed racing incidents. New leader right now is Zach Schrader. Zach in this silver and teal Patronus Mercedes car. Don't know what happened here. It appears, maybe Brad is 12 laps down. I do not know what happened. Maybe Brad picked up some damage, maybe through not this past crash, but through the one between Crass and, between Crass and Darren. Let's quick go back and see if we see anything happen here. Ooh, you can see there the front right was bent in. The front right on Brad was bent in during that contact. I did not notice that. So Brad is now 13 laps down, your championship leader, with a broken front right toe link. This is really going to shake things up in the championship. Myro's got a prime opportunity here. Myro is in 11th after having pit from the lead just then. Brad down in 25th, 13 laps down. Brady in 22nd, 2 laps down. So prime opportunity for Myro.
Green flag, green flag.
Zach sees the green flag. And we are already side by side back here with Rob and Ken, that is, in the purple and white and blue and white car. A little more orderly this time by than last restart. As you see Kyle going along the high side there. John working his way around Maggie. Using that momentum, will he... No, Alexis cuts him off. So John goes way high. Oh, got the air taken off of his nose, which allows Maggie to get back by him. Good job of him staying out of the wall. Myro in that purple and green car did pit and has 10 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field. So we'll see what Myro can do with it. Myro already up 2 spots, getting past Andrew and Todd. Todd getting back by. Commentator's curse. As John and Maggie are still fighting. This is for 7th place. And Myro's back to 11th. Completely commentator cursed him. As we now have Todd looking to get around John. But up front, we have Moto fighting to get the lead away from Zach. Moto looking to lead a lap and get that bonus point. Moto is currently 16th in the championship, 48th point back behind Brad. However, this will change definitely after that damage that Brad sustained. As they run right now, your new points leader is going to be Myro, who has fallen back to 14th. The new top car that pit is Robert Leeson, has the freshest tires. Moto gets by Zach and leads that lap, earning him a bonus point. John back here fighting with Maggie still. They've been fighting all day. John and Maggie have been battling. We have 3-car battle here just behind them between Hunter, Andrew, and Robert. Oh, that's Hunter in the wall.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, man. Hunter hard into the wall there. And we have another caution out. I do not know why he's still driving that thing. He should just pull off to the side and tow. It's like he heard me and he's doing that. What happened to Hunter? Hunter here, working around, getting around Maggie. Oh, Maggie slightly bumps up into him. Ooh, that might be on Maggie for that one. Maggie touched that white line and it just sort of slides up into him. Oh, hard impact. We'll go on the roll bar of Maggie. You see her bumping that white line. Ooh. We'll have to go on board with Hunter and see if he stays in line or if Maggie came up. Ooh, yeah, it looks like Maggie slid up into Moto, or slid up into Hunter. So that's rough for Hunter, who was 18 points back, 14th in the, or 4th in the championship. So now we got Myro, and then where is Brady? Brady is 2 laps down still in 20 seconds, so this is really looking good for Myro, sitting back here in 8th. as Samantha, Alexis, Maggie, and Andrew, Robert, and Kyle all pit that time. So we got a lot of different strategies going. Your top 6 cars pit 24 laps ago, and then it's a grab bag between the rest of the cars in the lead lap if they pit this past time or 14 laps ago. And we are hearing from race control that Maggie is going to receive a drive-through penalty for that contact. As we saw in that replay, Maggie was bouncing off that white line at the bottom through 4 and slid up the track and hip-checked Hunter into the wall in the tri-oval. That was one of the keys that we talked about heading into this race. At the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about, will there be a lot of cautions? We saw the pack racing. It's not quite the pack racing that we saw at Fontana or at Nashville, where it was true pack racing. But it is sure causing chaos. We are a quarter of the way through this race and have already had 4 different cautions. We see Brad is back out on track. 25 laps down, looking to get some points back. For sure going to bump up to 23rd. Getting past Wanda and Hunter, who are both out currently. Moto is leading the field to the green flag. He's about to get handed off control from the pace car. As Jill is getting back out there after getting some damage.
Green, green, green.
Great jump from Moto. We see back in the field, they're already going 2x2. As Maggie gets a huge run, Maggie will have to serve that drive-through penalty. As she comes this time by, that stacks up the field in the back. You saw Alexis getting pushed back, the bottom line checking up with Maggie having to come to pit there. Up here we have a fight for 10th. This is a four-way battle for 10th. Andrew all over the back of Samantha there on the bottom line. You got Paul leading Michelle and Kyle on the top. Paul gets around them. As we got a battle for the lead, we got Melissa battling Moto for the lead of this race. Melissa diving down the inside, Moto washing up the track. Little twitch there, through two, and that'll give Melissa the lead. Back here we have a battle still raging. This battle is for 7th place. We got Myro, Ken, and John all fighting for 7th. Maggie did serve her drive-through and comes out a lap down, but not too far behind the leader. As this battle here is really amping up, Ken has gotten away ahead of them, and now Paul has joined the fight. Myro and John almost touch wheels there, coming out of 4. Paul getting a great run, and Paul getting around Myro. As now we have Kyle working to get around Myro. Myro sliding backwards. That low line's not working. Myro needs to ditch it and get up to the high line. As now the lap car of Thomas is getting around Myro. Thomas being a lap down as well. Just like how Maggie is. Thomas is working through the field. Thomas pit under the last caution, so he does have some fresh tires. Up here, John has caught up to Ken, reeled him back in, and is working on him. Maggie needs to get out of the way because it's really hurting John in that low line. Maggie is taking the air off of John's wing and is not able to work to get around Ken. As Melissa, after getting around Moto, has pulled about a second gap. Todd really working to get around Fred here for 4th position. Todd has not had a good result this year so far. Todd's best finish was last week at Long Beach, getting a 15th. He's now fighting for 4th, so it's a good day so far for him. Similarly, Melissa, who is leading with about still that second gap over Moto, her best finish of the year is a tie between Fontana and Long Beach at 24th, so she's looking for anything to be proud about. Real close there, racing between Samantha and Alexis for 12th. Just behind them is Andrew, who's now trying to get around Samantha. Andrew is the last car on the lead lap, who is now Samantha's the last car on the lead lap. But it's still, this is a top 15 battle. Todd getting around Fred there at the stripe for 4th. Looks like he has that position. Dives down a bit to cut the air off of Fred's nose, which allows Ken to get the run on Fred. But up front, oh, Melissa caught Jill, and that held her up, which allowed Moto to get back onto her gearbox. We have Paul battling John for 8th. Getting around him there. But John is hanging tough on the outside there, keeping that momentum out of the corner. He might lose it through the corner, but John really fights back there, as you can see, beating Paul to the stripe. Melissa has caught back up, or Moto has caught back up to Melissa and is trying to work his way around her. The high line was not working. So Moto tries to cut down, but gets the air taken off his wing and loses 3/10 through that corner. Robert and John still fighting. As Todd gets around Zach, Zach slid up the track there through turn 1, which opened the door wide open. As Moto gets around Melissa, Moto finally able to get to that low line that Melissa was really working, but Melissa takes it back and leads at the stripe anyway, so that's another lap led for Melissa. I don't have a way to keep track of who led the most laps, but it is good to know that leading the most laps is 2 bonus points in the championship, so it is a very important stat, so you want to lead the most laps. Todd and Zach going at it for 3rd. Zach having a better rough of a season. The first half of the first season was Zach Schrader all the way. He was absolutely dominating the championship, but faltered in the second half of the season. Currently, Zach is 26th in the championship, 63 points back. Todd is really working, trying to get around Zach here. Tries the high line. Sends it in too deep and slides up the track. However, Zach goes down and touches that white line at the bottom. Now Todd has the draft off of the lap car down. 26 laps down is Brad. Brad easily lets him by, which allows Ken to get by Zach. And up front, now Melissa slides up the track, which allows Moto to take the lead, but she's fighting back along the backstretch and takes it into 3. Gets down to that lower line. 3 and 4 is a bit tighter of a turn than 1 and 2, so you are able to hold that bottom line a bit easier and a little bit more banked, so you can hold it a little closer behind a car. As Robert and Fred are battling for 6th. I believe your top 4 of Melissa, Moto, Todd, and Ken are all chasing their first win. Is there an issue with Brad? No, he's just in the pits. Saw on telemetry that he was slow and seeing what was up with him. As this battle for the lead continues, Moto diving along the inside of Melissa. Melissa sliding up the track, sliding into the gray of that groove. You saw Twitch there, losing a lot of grip outside there. Not able to clear Moto going into 3. Moto holding the bottom. A little twitchy. The car does like to snap around going through 4 there with having that much grip on the front tires. So Melissa's able to hold on to the position. Robert was able to get by Zach that last time by, moving him up a position. Myro, who was looking so strong at the beginning of the race, has just kind of settled in here in 11th after having pit from the lead. That was such a surprising pit. As Zach is falling back quite harshly. Zach was battling with Todd for 3rd place and has now fallen back 2 seconds and is feeling the pressure from Fred in the Freightliner car. As Fred clears Zach there. Robert charging ahead. He's been strong the past couple of laps. Gets around Ken fairly easily. Oh, Ken fighting back now. I thought Ken was going to concede the position. As now Alexis has gotten by Myro. So Myro falling back another position to 12th. As Ken continues to work on, or Robert continues to work on Ken. Robert gonna try the high side now. Does seem that he's gonna make that work. As we've gone 34 laps green now. After that last incident. Last car on the lead lap is Samantha. Roughly half a lap behind the leaders. John working his way around Zach. Zach really struggling now through the middle of this stint. Up ahead, Melissa has a second gap on Moto. She's able to keep Moto behind her and has pulled away a bit. Comfortable lead. Nothing too crazy, but it's a comfortable position to be in. Alexis working on Paul. This is the battle for 10th. Alexis is also down in the championship, down in 22nd. Looking for a strong result. A top 10 would be very nice. As Todd gets by Moto. So Moto's falling back. Moto might have burned up his tires, really trying to get by Melissa there. So Todd is up into second. That Melissa pitting? It is. So your leader has pit 62 laps into the stint. I would expect more people to come shortly. Melissa was leading though, so she's burning a lot more fuel. Paul and Alexis are still battling. along with Kyle and John. Kyle sends it into the corner, as you see Melissa coming out of the pits there. As Robert now charges ahead. Robert's been absolutely massive this stint. Getting to the lead now. Robert has 20 lap fresher tires than Todd. As Zach has come pit. Good call by Zach. I would have came a little bit earlier just because he was falling back through this stint. Through the second half of this stint. But I don't mind the call of pitting a little earlier. Paul is still battling with Alexis, getting by her there. As Todd and Moto have pit. So your new leader for probably the next 20 or so laps is going to be Robert Leeson before he needs to pit. I would expect Fred. Yep, here comes Fred, as well as John is going to pit. Who is probably another 5 or so laps is going to be Ken and Paul. Ken running in second now, with Paul running in fourth. Both of these cars need to pit. But this is a three-way battle. We've got Myro fighting back now, charging back through the field after I told him that he was sucking. Myro got by Alexis and is now working to get by Paul. And does so. Robert up front with a 4-second lead is on an alternate strategy, but everybody's on different strategies. There's no real main strategy that that you can see through this field. We got Paul working on Myro. That silver car is Jill. She is 29 laps down after receiving damage through one of the incidences. Myro's still struggling to clear Paul for fourth, as Robert has pulled out a 5-second lead. Myro chops down on Paul's nose there. So it appears that Myro has cleared Paul. We will go on board with Paul and see if he's saving fuel. It does appear that Paul is saving fuel as Ken does pit. Myro and Paul should be coming soon. You can hear their massive fuel saves. This is a battle for 10th. Although they are a lap down, this is a battle for 10th between Maggie and Taylor. Maggie did serve that drive-through penalty, so it appears that that penalty didn't hurt her too much as she's still in 10th. Myro has pit. Receiving service now. Should be out in the next couple of seconds. So in 10 or so laps, your top 5 should pit. That is Robert, Kyle, Alexis, Andrew, Samantha, at top 6, and Thomas should all pit. I have no clue what's going to be the preferred strategy. If it's a 60 some odd laps, we got 240 to go. Maybe this might actually be the preferred strategy that your top 6 is on. I'm sure we're going to have more cautions, though. First car lap down is Thomas. Compared to Rob, Thomas is heading into 3. Rob is heading into 1. Everybody is major fuel save right now, running about a second slower than their fastest laps. As Crass comes to pit lane. When will Robert come to pit? Probably another 6 laps or so. But however, he is saving fuel, hoping that a caution will come out. No, Rob pits now on lap 57. Handing over the lead to Kyle, who should be pitting shortly as well. Rob is exiting the pits now. We'll see where he shakes out compared to the cars that just pit fairly soon. I believe the Melissa, will he stay out in front of Melissa? It appears that he does, so it appears staying out really did help him. As Kyle now pits, will Alexis pit? She's coming off of 4 now. No, she stays out. So Alexis will assume the lead and lead that lap, earning her an extra bonus point. That's Maggie fighting to stay on the lead lap. Alexis diving down low. That might be signaling that she is going to pit this time by. Indeed it is. Maggie and Andrew follow them into the pits, which now gives Samantha the lead. Melissa is your leader, and she is slowly pulling away from Robert. Will Samantha be able to stay on the lead lap? Melissa's going through 2 now. See at the top, just at the top of the screen, Melissa was coming out. So it appears that Samantha will stay on the lead lap. She is getting up to speed though. Melissa gets around Tim, putting Tim 33 laps down. Kyle and Ken fighting each other. This is for 4th position. Todd has gotten by Robert for 2nd. We'll see if Todd in the Thunderbirds car is going to be able to track down Melissa. As Kyle throws it into 3 below Ken. Will he slide up? Slow slightly. No, he's going to let Ken have the room. And Ken gets a run out of the corner. Will Ken cut the air off of Kyle's nose? He does. You can see Kyle slide up the track a bit there and lose some momentum. Kyle had to get off the gas. Back farther, we got Zach working on moto. Almost making some contact there with Zach getting around the high side. Really squeezing moto down. Ken and Kyle have caught the lap car of Brad, who's 26 laps down. And we will see if Kyle will be able to use Brad as a pick to get around. No. Ken's leaving open the bottom. He's probably just going to leave open wherever Brad goes and say, all right, pick your poison. We got Paul trying to get around the outside of Fred. This is a 3-way battle for 9th. We got Fred, Paul, and Myro just behind them. Looks like Paul's making quick work of Fred there. We'll see if Myro will be able to do the same. Ooh, big wiggle there going into 1. Melissa has caught Samantha and is attempting to put her a lap down. I will point out that you do get a bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. Currently, that is a 25.558 held by John Van Der Wettering in the number 6 Bucky's car. Fastest lap last time was Samantha at a 25.9, about 4/10 off of that pace, as Samantha is still fighting to hold back Melissa behind her. Kyle did get around. Oh, Zach hard into the wall.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, man. We cut to that just as it happened. Look at that side pod torn apart. What happened there? So Zach trying to get back around Kyle. Oh, Kyle slides up the track and just hits that front wing and sends him headed straight for the wall. Here we are on board with Zach. Yeah, nothing he could have done there. That's a definite drive-through penalty for Kyle. And that indeed is, for the number 24 Overwatch car, that is going to be a drive-through penalty for Kyle. We have a couple takers onto pit road, including the leader, Melissa. So, halfway through the pit cycle, there is another crash to spice things up. I don't think there's maybe 3 cars on any one pit strategy. It is so absolutely crazy, wild, bonkers. So Robert in the Taco Bell car is going to assume the lead. The 3 cars ahead of him of Steven Cheesin, Michelle Keel, and Tim Pagolo are all going to get waved around. Steven Cheesin is a lap down. He will get his lap back, as well as Michelle. Tim is 32 laps down. He will go to 31 laps down. There are quite a few lap cars between the top 3 of Robert, Kyle, and Samantha. Those will all get shuffled to the back. As standard procedure, all lap cars will drop to the back of the field with 1 to go. We see some coming of the lap cars. The second time by the lap cars pit, getting some of them out of the way. But as we see here, where the leader will go on his river, you see some of them shuffling back now. But most of the cars did pit that were a lap down. It looks like only 3 cars stayed out. That is Jill, who is 31 laps down, Crass, which is 28 laps down, and Thomas, who is a lap down. I do not know why Thomas wouldn't pit. All of the other cars that are a lap down did pit. So Thomas is on 18 lap old tires, so he is still early into the stint, but you have unlimited tires. I would have taken them. I don't think the track position really matters here. Up front, your top 3, their tires respectively are 19, 17, and 15 laps old. And then Melissa is the first car with brand new tires. We got Steven Cheesin here, who's going to get waved around this time by. Oh, Steven Cheese is not getting his lap back. My bad. He's going to drop to the tail end of the field. He was 2 laps down, now is a lap down. We are 1 to green. We will see on these 20 lap old tires if Robert, Kyle, and Samantha are going to be able to hold off the rest of the field. We have 4 cars out. Hunter, Wanda, Darren, and Cole have all retired from the race. Unknown so far if Zach's going to be able to make it back out. That was some real tough, hard contact into that exit turn 4 wall heading into the tri-oval. Reminder, I don't know why Kyle didn't pit, considering he will have a drive-through penalty for that incident. That was our 5th caution of the race, just under halfway through. Robert has control of the field.
Green flag, green flag.
And back here we see them already jumping out of line. Up front, Robert got a great jump. Oh, hard in the wall. That's crass. And Jill, I think Steven Cheesin got caught up into that as well.
The yellow flag is out.
That is another yellow. Oh, yes, Steven Cheesin did lose his front wing there. Here we have Jill. Oh, Thomas bumps into Jill and takes out Crass and Jill. Oh my goodness. Thomas lap down. Tries to go below. That was a bit ambitious for him. I do not know why Thomas would have done that. There was not... I do not think there was room there. Let's look at that again from Thomas's angle. Oh, there might have been a gap there, and I don't know if that was a racing incident or not. Because there is the gap there, and Thomas commits to it. Thomas is committed down here on the bottom. And there is a lane there. It is ambitious. And then Jill just comes down on top of him. This real favoritism if I don't give a drive-through there. I think it was, they kind of came up into each other. I don't know. That wasn't for position. Yeah, I'm going to have to give Thomas a drive-through there. To be consistent and fair, I don't think that was really, Thomas was running in 14th, maybe 15th at the time. But that was not a battle for position. Jill is 33 laps down. There was no need for Thomas to throw that in there. Crass is also a bunch of laps down. There was real no need to fight that. Should have just waited till the backstretch. But takes out 2 cars. So that will be a drive-through for Thomas. That is caution number 6 here today, just under halfway through this race. Kyle did get his... What a lucky break for Kyle. Kyle got his drive-through penalty in right before the caution came out. So he got his drive-through cleared, his black flag cleared, and stays on the lead lap. So we are going to have 1 to green this time by. Quick caution. With everybody having pit. Samantha and Robert stay out. We are on lap 191. We will take the green flag on lap with 192 with 208 laps to go. Jesus Christ, making this a 600-mile race was a mistake and a half. This is going to be a 3-hour race. God damn. I should have just made this the length of the normal races and aim for like an hour 45-minute race. Robert has control of the field.
Green, green, green.
And here we go. Thomas is the first car to jump out of line. Passing by Michelle there. Thomas will need to serve his drive-through penalty. We will stay here, and we will go right on the back of Thomas as he comes to pit here. He's going to back this field up. That is Kyle also. Oh, Kyle did not serve his drive-through, so Kyle's also serving it. It did not count. Melissa getting by Samantha for second place. However, Samantha is fighting back. Thomas and Kyle have come out of the pits now. They are going to be a lap down. Thomas 2 laps down after serving those penalties. They are coming out right at the middle of the pack. This is going to cause some chaos. Oh, Thomas touching that white line. That got him in trouble earlier. Melissa did get by Samantha just there and is tracking down Rob. We got a 3-way battle here between Moto, Myro, and Alexis. Myro and Moto are side by side. And we see just behind them, that's bunching everybody up here. Alexis now getting a run on Moto, with John getting a run on Fred. Three wide going through the corner there, with John in the middle. Alexis backs out. Up ahead, we got Todd. That's Myro working on Todd. That's up at the front. Melissa has caught Rob and is getting around him there. So, Melissa is your new leader. As Myro sealing the deal, it appears, unless Todd gets a monster run. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle, but it does look like Todd is getting that run out of the corner, carrying that speed into 3. This battling between Melissa and Robert up front has allowed Samantha to catch back up. Now this, we see here Samantha looking on the inside of Rob. Trying to make it stick. Looks like Rob's going to hang tough on the outside, carry that momentum. Samantha was a little squirrely there down on the bottom. While it's happening, Andrew is on the gearbox of Moto. We only have 12 cars on the lead lap here. Last car on the lead lap is Fred, back in 12th. Ooh, Todd way up the track there. Yeah, Myro slides in front of him. I don't know if that was enough speed to carry enough speed through the corner. Oh, real close there. Left front to right rear. That could have ended horribly for Myro. I thought for sure Todd was going to hook Myro, and they were both going to end up in the wall. Ken is working on Paul for 4th. This is allowing Todd in 6th to catch back up. You saw him at the top of the shot there. Ken has fallen back a bit, which has allowed Paul some breathing room. Alexis is working on John. Looking around that high side there. Usually only works if you get ahead of them on the high side because you lose so much time through the corner. Oh no, the air on John's wing from Andrew ahead of them has allowed Alexis to get by. Alexis is going to carry that momentum down to the inside. If you can make it stick, the inside line is the preferred line there through 3 and 4. Samantha has caught up to Rob and is fighting him for 2nd. As Andrew and Alexis are going at it side by side through 4. And Todd and Moto ahead are also side by side for 6th. Oh, we have a 3-way battle now. This is a battle for 8th between Myro, Alexis, and Andrew. Andrew right on the gearbox of Alexis, is getting squeezed down by Myro. Alexis has cleared them, allowing Fred to get into this mix. Fred now working on Andrew as Andrew lost some momentum from that battle. Andrew falling back another spot. Up front, Melissa still has a commanding lead. She is saving fuel. Running about 26-second laps. Moto getting a huge run on Ken here. However, Robert got a big run down the backstretch and is now side by side with Melissa. Not able to make it work that time. However, carries the speed through 2 and is able to make the pass heading into 3. Melissa was saving fuel. She might have dropped back to second just to sort of save fuel. Since with saving fuel, they haven't been using up their tires too much. Wow, Rob's pulled out a second lead over Melissa. Melissa's team must have given her a fairly big fuel number to hit. As we have a battle here for 6th, Todd and Moto going at it once again. These two have been battling all day. Melissa has lost the draft to Robert up front and has allowed Samantha to catch up to her. Samantha's going to work around the bottom as we got a three-way battle here now with Todd and Moto fighting has allowed Ken into the fight. And that's the sides. As Samantha gets by Melissa... We're halfway through the stint. Melissa seems to be struggling. Whatever swing they took, balance-wise, does not seem to be working out for Melissa. Todd gets by Paul. Same thing with Paul. Paul seems to be struggling this stint. Because now Moto is pressuring Paul. Moto looking pretty strong. Will he be able to clear him? No. Paul chops off the nose. Takes the air off, and you can see Moto sliding up there trying to sit behind him. Moto darts back to the inside. Paul cuts it off. Back here we have Fred working on Alexis. How close is Kyle to getting his lap back? Crossing the stripe, and Kyle is crossing it as well, so he's about a half a lap behind. Samantha has caught up to Rob, though. Oh, you see Rob there darting down, oversteered a bit. They go side by side into one. Robert able to make it stick. As, do we have something wrong with Fred? Fred is slow. Did he hit the wall, break a toe link? Fred battling with Ken. Slight contact. Ooh, into the wall. We are staying green right now. Let's get a... Oh, yeah, that's definitely sliding up the track from Ken. And that'll be a drive-through for Ken. Jesus, guys. We're 176 laps to go. Can we please keep it clean? Ken is serving his drive-through penalty. Look at all the... Look how much rubber there is on his car. Jesus, these cars are going to be dirty. Robert comes to pit. Samantha should be coming to pit roughly in 3 or so laps. And then Melissa will assume the lead. We have a battle here for 6th between Andrew and Alexis. As well as there's a battle between Todd and Moto still. These two have been fighting all day, tooth and nail. They've been very respectful to each other, giving each other enough space. But gosh darn, they've been fighting. Nine cars in the lead lap after Rob pit there. Up ahead, Samantha has a 1.5-second gap on Melissa. We'll see how many more laps Samantha can go before she needs to pit. Incident for Tim? Was that him coming out of the pits? Oh! Tim and Brad get together. Oh. That's... It looks like Brad slipped the track there. So Tim is back into the pits with more damage. "35 laps down, Tim has more damage and is back in the pits." Is this a regular scheduled stop for Steven Cheesin? It appears so. And here we have our leader, Samantha, coming to pit. Giving Samantha the lead as we got Todd threatening on the outside. Is Todd going to lead that lap? No, he does not, but he is fighting. And now we have a three-way battle for the lead between Melissa, Todd, and Moto. Melissa down to the white line, oversteering a bit, allowing Todd and Moto to get by. Your top three here all pit on the same lap. They all pit 51 laps ago as Moto down to the inside. Melissa trying to follow him through. Moto clears Todd. Todd fighting back. Moto has the lead. Melissa getting a bad run off the corner. Might lose touch with the top two. No, Pierce, she's going to stay 8/10 back. Just barely hanging on to that draft. This definitely should have been a 200-lap race. We're already 2 hours, 8 minutes into the race, and there's still like an hour to go. Let's hope we stay green. Moto sailing away with that lead. It previously was John with the fastest lap of the race. However, we do have a new fastest lap, and it is Samantha. She is currently a lap down, but she did a 25.544. A 10th fast, or a 100th of a second faster than John. John is currently in 8th. Let's see. Myro was in 3rd in the championship, so Myro should assume the lead. Hunter is out. Brady is... Where's Brady? Brady's in 16th. Yeah, so Myro should take the lead of the championship as they run right now. Myro and John are fighting to be not the last car on the lead lap. However, that is 8th. Myro might be thinking championship points right now, not fighting John too hard. The amount of attrition that we've had this race. And we have Melissa coming to the pits. The first one for the round of pit cycle, for the pit cycle. On lap 59 of her stint, she comes to pit from 3rd. Will Moto come this time? No. Todd does pit. How about Paul? Paul does not. But Moto does come this time. I'm assuming Paul will come as well. It does appear so. He's hugging that white line. Yes, he is coming in. Andrew comes in. Alexis comes in. John stays out. So Moto's coming out of the pits. We'll see where he cycles out compared to the rest of the people that pit. John stays out again. Stretching it another lap. It appears Michelle is also coming into pit this time. Michelle is 2 laps down. Moto will assume the lead once again. Moto's got a 2-second gap on Samantha. Kyle pits from second. Here's that everybody's got 2 more rounds of pits. 2 more times to pit. Not quite enough to make it on 1 more stop. We have 7 retirees from the race. Zach, Crass, Jill, Hunter, Wanda, Darren, and Cole. Melissa and Todd are battling for third, 4 seconds back from the leader, Moto. I'm going to leave the camera on them, and I'm going to run to the bathroom. like Todd and Melissa are still battling and are still close together, so I'm glad that I left the camera on them. They are still the closest on-track battle at this time. They have cut about a second out of Moto's lead. Also looking on the inside of Todd there. Cuts back to the outside and makes it work through 1 and 2. We'll see if Melissa now will be able to track down Samantha. All this fighting has allowed Robert to get back into it. Robert and Samantha are the two on the alternate pit strategy compared to the rest of the cars on the lead lap. Samantha is on 10-lap older tires, and Robert is on 20-lap older tires. However, all cars in the lead lap, all 10 cars, should be able to make it on one more stop. Tim Pagelo's back out there, and he's holding up this battle for third, making things interesting. Will Todd be able to get around Tim and put a car between him and Melissa? It appears that he is going to be able to, Tim being 55 laps down. Last car on track running still. As now Robert is putting the pressure on Melissa. Robert diving down the inside. Trying to hang tough there on the bottom. Taylor and Hannah are fighting for 13th position. They're both a lap down, but this is still for decent points. Steven Cheesin, that just came up behind these two, is 2 laps down, so he has no stake in this battle. He's just kind of riding around here, Oh, he gets a run and gets around Melissa. Last stint, Melissa was running pretty good, but it appears that she's headed the wrong way balance-wise. And Steven Cheesin is moving up, trying to get his laps back. Up front, Moto is still leading. He's got a 2.5-second lead on Samantha. Moto's got a ton of clean air, so I don't expect that gap to go away anytime soon. Hannah and Taylor are still beefing it out here for 13th. And Todd is caught up to Samantha for 2nd. John and Myro are battling for 9th. They are the 2 last cars on the lead lap. They're heading out of 2, and your leader, Moto, is heading into 2. They have roughly the backstretch of a gap to the leader before they go a lap down. Kyle has joined this battle between Taylor and Hannah. Kyle has gotten by both of them. Kyle is now chasing down Ken, who is the first car a lap down. Ken is still roughly half a lap behind the leader, so there is no threat of him getting back on the lead lap. Moto's gap is up to Samantha is now 4 seconds. Alexis and John are going at it. This is for 8th place. John has gotten away from Myro, who is now 2 seconds behind these 2 pair. And John has gotten by Alexis. Melissa has fallen back to 5th, but is staying closely behind Rob. Tim Paolo is holding up Todd once again, and it's allowing Rob to catch up to him. See if Tim will stay out of the way, and if Robert can get a run. Rob does get a run, dives down to the inside, ooh, almost makes contact with Todd. What is the gap from Myro, the last car on the lead lap, to the leader? Myro is entering one, and Moto just cross start finish. As now Melissa's working her way around Robert. Samantha pits from second place. We will see Rob pitting in roughly under 10 laps, and the rest of the field pitting in roughly 30 laps. Samantha should be a short stop, yeah, it was a real short stop, only an 8.6 second stop. Normally they're around 10-second stops, as she hit 40 laps ago. As now we got a bunch of cars packed up here. We have Todd, and then Robert and Paul, all battling for position. These three are battling for third. Now John is caught up to and is past Andrew. Will he be able to hold on to it? It does appear so. Samantha is out of the pits now, a lap down. Ken is still the first car, a lap down. Ken is half a lap ahead of behind the leader. But just ahead of Ken is Paul. Paul is trying to chase down Todd. However, Ken is really getting in the way of that, despite being a lap car. I'm probably going to commentator's curse this, but it's been nice that we've been clean for the majority of the race here on out. After those 6 cautions, as Paul is now caught up to Todd and is working the low line. As Robert has come to pit now, which means we will likely have 8 cars on the lead lap. Paul gets a great run out of 4 and leaves Todd in the dust. Todd has to take a shallow line with Ken up above him, allowing Paul to pull away. Now there's still only 1 car between them, but it is a nice, healthy gap. Now there isn't a car, as Steven Cheesin has pit. Moto still has a comfortable lead with a 5-second lead over Melissa. Melissa had the fastest lap last time by, 0.6 faster than Moto, and 0.4 faster that time by. So she is chipping away at that lead. We're about 15 laps or so away from the main pack's pit cycle. Hasn't really taken much out of this lap. Was about a second last lap. 2/10 faster, 2.5 tenths faster that lap. So she is chipping away. Closest battle on the lead lap is Andrew chasing down John up ahead. And then closest battle in general, at roughly the same distance, is Maggie trying to chase down Taylor. Oh, Andrew got a decent run there. Andrew roughly 2/10 behind John now. However, choosing that same line that he is down in the bottom, you're going to lose some time there, getting that air taken off your front wing, being in the wake of the other car. Down here in 3, you're going to have more mechanical grip so you can survive it longer. However, we are 48 laps into the stint for Andrew, so it's going to be tough with those tires. Earlier in the stint, it might be able to work a bit better. Is Tim still out there? Okay, my telemetry was wrong. It was saying that he pit less 100 laps ago. I'm like, how did he survive that long? As Andrew has gotten by John. Is John coming by this time? No, it does not appear so. But it looks like John's running out of steam. He might have used up his tires. Andrews seems to be looking pretty good. Melissa has not made a dent into Moto's lead after cutting it down to about 4.1 seconds. Maggie is chasing down Taylor for that 12th position. And after Andrew got by John, Alexis is now trying to get by as well for 6th. A lot of these guys are looking for their best finish of the year. Paul has caught up to Melissa, who is slowly falling off of Moto's tail. Melissa down low, that's her signaling that she's coming this time by. Melissa had pit 56 laps ago. She is coming to pit. So the first of your leaders is Melissa, that is going to pit. We're gonna have to see where she slots out. See how long her pit is. 9.9, so kind of a standard pit cycle for her. As we have more people coming to pit. Todd, Alexis, and Myro all pit. Moto has come pit now. Andrew comes in. John stays out. John stayed I feel like John stayed out longer last time. So we'll see where Rob and Samantha cycle out compared to everyone. Samantha was in second, I believe, or Rob was. I don't know. One of them were in second before they pit. It's been 23 laps since Samantha pit. After pitting, they will have to hit one more time. John stays out again. Moto has come out through roughly the same gap to Melissa as before. At a 5-second gap. John has pit. Michelle is following him in. Michelle is 2 laps down. Maggie's coming to pit. So Samantha will assume the lead. So Samantha is your leader because she has one more pit as well as the rest of the field. Let's see where John's going to shake out. He was back there in like 11th, 12th fighting with Myro. Here's that he's going to jump up a spot and jump Alexis by doing the overcut. But we got Samantha leading, followed by Moto, who's about a straightaway behind. And then another straightaway behind is Melissa. We're going to have to keep an eye on that gap from Melissa back to Moto, because it was around like 5 seconds, and now it's down to 4 after a couple of laps. See if Moto can cut down the gap with these newer tires. So Samantha should be able to make it on one more stop, but Moto's going to have a shorter stop, being roughly 20 laps better on fuel. Robert has caught up to Paul for 4th place. We'll see how aggressive Robert is for making this pass. Still a lot of race left. We're on 40 minutes left in the race. I kind of zoned out, and Todd has caught back up to Robert and has gotten by. Well, not quite, but is looking to chase down Paul. So Todd is looking very sporty on these newer tires, having gotten by Rob. And is quite quickly tracking down Paul. Todd is charging. Currently, Todd is up 11 positions. Started 16th, is up to 5th. Biggest movers so far appears to be Andrew, up 19 positions. Started 26th, up to 7th, keeping his nose out of trouble. Honorable mention is Myro, who's up to 10th after starting 25th. Todd has gotten by Paul and has pulled away about 0.7 of a second, slowly pulling away farther. Moto is slowly reeling in Samantha. .3 of a second a lap faster that last time. Moto has seemed pretty quick this time so maybe... Let's see. 0.6 or 0.4 faster that last time. Samantha up front here, it needs to save some fuel, not a ton of fuel, but needs to save some, which is what's really eating away at her lead. The last car on the lead lap is John, who's heading into one. You can see Samantha at the top of the screen there, threatening to... Oh, Brad's in the grass down on the front stretch. And the yellow is out. What happened to Brad there in the infield? Brad going around Hannah. Hannah hip checks him into the wall. And this throws a wrench into it because we cannot make it on one more stop. I think you gotta pit for the fresher tires. That'll be a drive-through for Hannah. Definitely a drive-through penalty for Hannah for hip checking Brad into the wall. Brad is already 28 laps down, so it's not really hurting that much. Hannah will go another lap down, drop from 15th all the way down to 19th, or maybe even 20th as a result of that drive-through. But who pits? Samantha pits. So Samantha's pitting from the lead. She will still need to pit one more time, but she will get fresher tires. She was losing her gap to Moto up front, so it's not super surprising that she pit. so Samantha and Rob both pit. Rob and Samantha pit. We're probably a good 20 laps away from 40 from when they have to pit, 20 from when they'll probably pit. For the rest of the leaders, your top 6 cars. Alexis is going to get waved around. I don't know how she got her lap back. Oh, because Samantha had to pit, and Samantha and Alexis, Michelle, and Maggie that you see in shot there are ahead of Moto, who just came into shot in this red, white, and blue car. But it appears Michelle needs to pit. Michelle pit 20 laps ago. I don't know why she's pitting. I would have taken the lap back. Gotten 2 laps down. That would have gained you a position or 2. But, Moto is your leader. Things are shuffling around in the back here as they try as race control tells them all where they need to go, what they need to do. That was caution number 7. So Alexis will be the last car on the lead lap. She'll get waved around by the pace car along with Maggie. Maggie is still a lap down with this wave around. But Alexis is back onto the tail end of the field on the lead lap. We should be 1 to go this time by. Yep. 1 to go, and Maggie and Alexis will get waved by the pace car. All right, things are going to get interesting here. We have 75 laps to go at the stripe. We will go on board with Alexis for the start and see what she sees. Oh, Maggie sending it 3 wide between Ken on the bottom and Fred up top. Wise choice for Alexis to go to the bottom there. Maggie is sending it through the middle. are fighting back here. Back up front, Andrew is threatening John, and John is threatening Paul. Was it just a regular pit cycle? It was just for Hannah. Don't know why she didn't pit under caution. Samantha, after pitting from the lead, is working on Andrew, trying to get by him. At the same time, Andrew uses momentum and gets by John. Will Samantha carry the momentum on the outside and carry that speed? It does appear so, that she gets by John as well. However, up front, Melissa now has her sights set on Moto and is really pushing him. Samantha is charging. Samantha has 20 lap fresher tires. Then Samantha and Rob both have 20 lap fresher tires, but Samantha's really making good use of them, and she's making her way through this field. John's looking to fight back against Andrew as Maggie's still pushing her way through the field. Good recovery from Maggie. She was way down at the bottom of the last time. Oh, Moto. They are pushing now. Moto set almost a 1,000th of a second off of his personal best. And only a couple off of... Oh, that's a new fastest lap from Moto that time by. He is putting the hammer down. New overall fastest lap. Jumps from Samantha to Moto that time. Moto is pushing. And you can see that compared to Melissa, who's struggling there, and you can see Moto is pulling away up 2-second gap now. Samantha is carving her way through the field, getting by Todd now. Diving down the inside. She should be able to make this stick. Being this far through the corner, Todd's looking on the outside. Will Samantha give him room? Doesn't need to. She's just straight out faster. Samantha's now chasing down Melissa. Has a bit of pressure behind from Todd, but she seems to be faster, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. We are at the point now where you can pit and make it to the end of the race. As Maggie's still working on Ken. Oh, this is a gaggle of cars that we got here. Brady's 2 laps down. Maggie and Ken are both a lap down. As we see Tim diving down to the inside of Brady, being very reckless for 55 laps down. Samantha has caught Melissa. Oh, that was real close diving on the inside there. Big wiggle for Melissa. Melissa switchbacks. Diving down to the inside. Will she be able to hold it? Fights that position back from Samantha. But Samantha's getting a run here. Samantha switchbacks as well, just like how Melissa did last lap, and takes the bottom away through 3 and 4. It appears that Samantha's going to have it this time. Will she be able to hold on to it? Gives Melissa the room. Big wiggle from Samantha, so she had to lift. But she's sticking there. This is allowing Moto just to scoot away out in the lead. Almost 4-second gap now. Who is going to be the first car to pit? The lead cars can go another 20-ish laps, and Samantha and Rob can go 40 laps before needing to pit. As Samantha's slowly tracking down Moto. Paul and Andrew beefing at in the beginning of the season are now fighting for 5th. Paul diving to the inside. It's allowed John back into this fight, so now it's a 3-car battle for 5th. Top 5s do matter as John gets around Paul for 6th. Top 5s do matter when it comes down to tiebreakers at the end of the season. Last season almost came down to that tiebreaker of the most top 5s. Likewise, Melissa is fighting to get onto that bottom step of the podium right now with Todd. They're side by side at the stripe, almost dead even. Melissa chops off the nose coming out of 4, which allows Todd to do the switchback. I don't know if he had much of a choice with all the wing taken off, as Todd shows that he was not happy with that move from Melissa by squeezing her down to the white line there. That could have ended in disaster. I get the frustrations are getting high, and they're tired at the end of this race, but geez, that was close. Samantha has cut down that gap to 2 seconds to Moto. We'll see if Samantha with the overcut will work. Now Samantha has the advantage of being able to short fuel on this last stop. This three-way battle for 5th has not stopped. Andrew in the lead of the battle in 5th, John in 6th, and Paul in 7th. Paul getting a good run there out of 4. Paul would love a top 5 finish at the home sponsor race. Paul has Texaco all over the side of the car. This is the Texaco Javelin, Texas-sized 600. Too long of a race. Michelle is 3 laps down, so there really is no point of Paul fighting her if she is faster. Michelle pit 20 laps earlier, so she does have a bit fresher tires. So Paul can let her go by, and he will get her back in the pit cycle. The gap is still 2 seconds from Moto back to Samantha. However, Samantha can see Moto in her sights, and she is tracking him down. Melissa has fallen back to 5th now, as Andrew got by her that last lap. Robert has gotten by Alexis for 8th. Ooh, Devin sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Almost being contact with Alexis there. And Moto has pit. The first has pit, which puts Moto in the danger zone. Moto is in the danger zone, having pit. If the yellow would have come out now, it'll put him a lap down where the rest of the field can pit under caution. Todd has also come pit. So it is falling into the hands of Samantha here as well as Robert, because they pit 20 laps later than the rest of the field under that last caution, so it might pay off for them. They gave up immediate track position for this exact scenario. Once again, John staying out longer than anybody else. Paul does stay out as well. Paul signaling that he's going to pit. Let's see if John comes this time by as well. No, John stays out. Paul will pit. Alexis pits as well. So now the last 3 cars on the lead lap that need to pit are your top 3 of Samantha, John, and Robert. John will probably pit this. John stays out again. I guess John can go another 3 laps if he really wanted to. Really hoping for a yellow to come. Andrew's fighting with Maggie. Maggie still needs to pit. I believe she's going to pit this time by... No, she doesn't, but she'll have to pit soon. Is that Tim Pagolo coming to pit? That is. Okay, I saw another incident for Tim. I thought he crashed again. Samantha with a 13-second lead over John. John pits this time. Lap 60 of his stint, he pits. So Robert will get second place. We'll have to see where Andrew is in relation to John as they were battling. Taylor comes to pit from being a lap down. 2 laps down, actually. John still needs to come out. Samantha's coming out of 4. And John's coming out of the pits. So Samantha will put him 2 laps down. So Paul beats out John. And puts John 2 laps down. So Paul needs to stay ahead of Samantha and slow her down. He cannot afford to lose time. Because when Samantha makes her pit stop, he needs to get his laps back. The only 2 cars on the lead lap are Samantha and Robert on this alternate strategy. There's another 15 laps before they need to pit, and these 2 desperately want a yellow. Andrew's up 20 spots, up in 6th. He's right on the back of Todd in the number 7 Thunderbird's car. Andrew is trying to get 5th position. He looks like he's got a good run here. He's on the outside. That's Robert in front of him, a lap ahead of them, but we'll see where Rob goes and who Rob is going to help. Rob's giving the draft to Andrew. And with these fresh tires, Andrew's going to drive around Rob. So Andrew's up into 5th. Ken still needs to pit, so it's provisionally 4th. But when is Samantha and Rob going to pit? Good to see Fred's back out there, 22 laps down. Andrew is trying to get around Fred. Ooh, that was real close there, but gets around him. It also gets a good run. This car is Ken in 4th. Doesn't need to fight him because Ken still needs to pit, but does swiftly get around him. So Andrew is charging through the field. Next car is Moto, but Andrew is 9 seconds back from Moto. All eyes are on Samantha and Rob, where they're going to come out when they pit. Will Samantha maintain the lead? Ooh, it looks like Samantha's going to pit this time. She's low. Did she just have a bad exit? Is she coming to pit? Just a bad exit. After getting passed by Andrew, Ken is slowly falling backwards towards Todd. Moto still has the fastest lap of the race after that last restart. I think it was actually 2 restarts ago. Maybe. We're all just waiting for Samantha to come pit. Will she pit? Will Rob pit? Rob getting squeezed down on the inside from Steven Cheesin. Steven Cheesin is 2 laps down in 12th position. Todd is slowly catching up to Ken here. As the same thing with Andrew, Todd does not need to pass Ken, as Ken is probably 5 laps away from pitting, whereas Todd does not need to pit. However, Todd is going to go around Ken. So Moto will likely take the lead. I wasn't paying attention to how long, like how much time you lose pitting is. I really need to start paying attention to that. But Moto is 30 seconds. It looks like Samantha's pitting. So you lose about 30 seconds. Or Moto is 30 seconds behind Samantha, so we will see where she comes out in relation. Will Rob pit this time? Is Rob staying out? He can stay out another 4 laps or so. So Rob does stay out. Todd is getting by Melissa. This is a 3-way battle for 4th. I don't know, or 3rd. What happened? 3-way battle for 5th. I don't know what happened here. But Samantha's coming out of the pits. It looks like you lose about 35 seconds on pit lane. But Todd, Paul, and Melissa are all battling here for this top 5. Samantha is 4.5 seconds behind Moto. So Rob still needs to pit. And Rob will drop to maybe even a lap. Yeah, Rob will drop a lap down after this pit cycle. And Samantha will be 4.5 seconds back. As we got Paul fighting Todd for 6th. And now Paul will need to track down Melissa to get 5th. But we'll see if Todd can hang on back here and fight back. Rob has pit. Rob and Ken pit. So Samantha is 4.3 seconds behind the leader, Moto. Andrew's going to bump into 3rd. Up. Insane. Up 13. Oh, 23 spots. Andrew's up 23 spots so far. 2 seconds back from Samantha. Samantha's 4 seconds back. Cut out a half a second from Moto. With 16 to go. It's a big ask for Samantha to track him down. But Moto has traffic. There is a bunch of cars that Samantha will have to get through. So we'll see who can get through traffic a bit better. As Samantha takes out another 0.3 of a second that lap. 0.4. That was actually 5. Jeez. Ken needs to get out of Samantha's way if she wants to catch Moto. Closest battle is Kyle trying to chase down Thomas for 14th. They're both 2 laps down. Andrew is slowly chasing down Samantha, despite being on 22-lap older tires. Samantha just has lost her head of steam and hasn't been able to track down Moto, slowly reeling him in. But Andrew had the fastest lap last time by almost a second quicker than Moto. Andrew's feeling good, up 23 spots in this race, looking to push even more. However, now Samantha's taking a bit more of a chunk, gap down to 2.8. Does Moto have... Moto just got by Ken, so that was probably holding him up. Ken's now pressuring on the inside. I don't have control of it, so there's no forced... like, letting the leaders go by when you're down a lap to the whole field. And Ken is a lap down. So the gap's down to 2.5. This is somewhat... I don't want to say it's realistic, but it's possible. It's feasible. Samantha can track him down. She really needs Andrew here to have a mistake or something so she won't have that pressure from behind. The gap is down to 2.3 seconds. We're going to have 7 to go this time by when Moto passes the stripe. Gap is still 2.5.
The yellow flag is out.
Yellow's out for Robert Leeson. Oh, Rob, hard crash. Oh my goodness. Hard crash coming out of 4. This is gonna shake everything up. What happened to Rob? With 6 to go. Oh man, monster hit. Just misjudged the timing of the run. Ran into the back of Brady. And absolutely demolishes his car into the exit of turn 4. Oh, jeez, that was violent. Oh, did he clip Moto? You see the crash up there ahead. Oh, he might just ran over debris. Moto might be okay, he might not, I don't know. His front wing looks fine. Everything looks okay with the car from my point of view. Absolute blessing for Samantha here. Fourth car in line. In the Air Canada car, Samantha was tracking down Moto slowly but surely. I don't know if she had enough time to do it on merit without that yellow, but with Rob crashing there with 6 to go, the two cars that are between her and Moto, that's Steven Cheesin, 3 laps down, and Tim Pagolo, who is 56 laps down, are going to get swept to the back. And let the leaders go up ahead. Oh, this is drama, drama, drama right here at the end of the race. You can see the lap cars falling to the back. Moto does not have a win, and I don't believe Samantha does either. No, Samantha and your top 5, 6, your top 6 cars do not have a win. John is your first car with a win. He won Long Beach last year during season 1. John is your first car with a win, so it's looking, unless there's a big wreck, it's looking like that we would have a first-time winner. Always something good to see. But who will it be? Will it be Moto? Does Moto have the pace? He was fading, and Samantha in the 45 Air Canada car was reeling him in. At the same time, Andrew was right behind Samantha, reeling in Moto as well. So they both have that pace. We're going to go 1 lap to green. We're going to take the flag, the green flag. It's going to be a green-white checkered. If you're a fan of NASCAR, it'll be just like overtime. There is no overtime in the Sheboygan IndyCar Series, so this will be final. Whether it ends under caution or not, Moto has control of the field.
Green, green, green.
Takes the green flag. Now what will Samantha and Andrew be able to do? 2 to go. Moto gets a good jump. The draft is strong. Gap's down to 0.3 of a second. Andrew's falling a bit back. Come and take the white flag here. Samantha is going to the outside. doesn't beat him. Moto leads that lap, but Samantha to the outside here. White flag. Here we go. Samantha around the outside. Book it! Samantha to the lead. Will Moto get a run back to the line? He's 2/10 back. Samantha down to the bottom. It looks like Samantha's going to hold on to it, and Samantha, with a last lap pass, wins at Texas. Samantha Keel is your winner. The alternate strategy worked, having the fresher tires. Samantha had 24 lap fresher tires than Moto, and that ended up being the key to the victory. We did on that last lap have a crash. It was Brady, top of your screen in that orange and white car, going 3 wide with Ken and Brad, and Brad gets hip checked by Ken. Ken down at the bottom, bumps Brad up into Brady, and just destroys Brady's right front. Here are your results for the Texas size Texaco 600 at Texas Motor Speedway. Samantha squeaks out that win, passing Moto King on the last lap, and Paul taking third. Andrew gets the Hard Charger Award, moving up from 26th up to 4th, up 22 spots. And then Todd Keel rounding out your top 5. Here we can see the second half of the field. You can see that Brady, who crashed on the last lap, and Robert, who crashed with 6 laps to go, finished 19th and 20th. Although they did not finish the race. The rest of the cars were enough laps down that it didn't cost them any positions. And then you see at the bottom that John and Devin each get a bonus point for pole and fastest lap of the race. And then Moto King gets 2 extra bonus points for leading the most laps. Here is how the championship standings look leaving Texas. We have a new points leader with Myro on top, 1 point ahead of Paul. Paul's been stringing together a bunch of consistent results. Myro had the win last week at Long Beach, and then had a 9th place finish today. So putting together a solid championship fight. Brad drops 2 positions, but now is only 5 points back. Samantha, with that win, jumps up to 4th, only 5 points back. Our next race is going to be Barber Motorsports Park. Should be a good race. It was last season, so hoping for the same this season. Thank you to everyone who made it this far in the video, and we will see you at Barber Motorsports Park very soon for round number 5 of the Sheboygan IndyCar series.